I'm Ann Collier. I'm a therapist for the Housing First team through Gracepoint Wellness. What we do at the Housing First team is we outreach into the community to identify those people who are most vulnerable. And for this particular program, we work with people who do have some sort of mental illness, and that mental illness has contributed to their homelessness. Housing with services is very important because of the transition that they go through from being homeless, and because there was a reason that they were homeless to begin with. So housing without services, in my opinion, doesn't work because you're just throwing somebody into a different environment without getting the help that they need. Edwin did have some medical issues when we met him, and because of the physical medical issues that he had and that he told us about, we were able to identify him as being somebody who was vulnerable to either getting worse, his conditions getting worse, or to even death if he stayed in the streets.
It's just a separate world out there when you're homeless than it is when you have a roof. And the way people treat you and the way people react to you, you know, in many instances, it's a totally different world. I've lived in abandoned apartments. I've lived in 4 storage units here in Tampa. My last straw was a tent in the woods off of Bruce B. Downs before you get to Barris. And I had a lot of health issues. I had caught staph, and I had big nodules coming out of my lymph nodes, out of my neck, bleeding pus and blood. So I went to Florida Hospital, which they were really good. They say, whatever you got, we definitely got to admit you because, you know, you definitely going to stay. So they diagnosed me with staph, and then it turned into MRSA. So I also had, through my medical care, through Gracepoint, that I found that I had prostate cancer. If I didn't have a roof and being safe, I would have no way to know about it, and I would just be focusing on daily life, you know, just trying to survive, trying to stay safe. My apartment is a lifesaver. It took me a while to adjust, but coming from not having anything to having a roof, to having somebody to care, when, you know, it means the world to me. And the whole thing is being safe. And it's wonderful. And then I get the therapy that I need, you know, because it's a struggle between the depression and the prostate cancer. Every day is different. I don't feel the same every day. Some days it's harder than others. You know, some days it's much harder than others. So Ann helped me a lot with coping issues, you know. So it's not the same every day. It changes from day to day. It's a struggle. It's a hard struggle.
You can help us provide services for more vulnerable people. Donate now at gracepointwellness.org.